Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and Microsoft updated their Surface lineup, and I do follow the lineup. I find the lineup very interesting. Microsoft does seem to try some new things, so I want to go through some of those today. And I have a Surface Pro 4, so obviously, and I'm still using it, and I seem to like it. So, and my wife really likes it, so that's why I pay attention to it as well. As I think I might go with a different device, but I think my wife actually would like to continue using the Surface Pro that or at least a newer version. However, I'll get into the price in a little bit. But they did increase the touchscreen of this to 13 inches instead of what is it, 12 before on there, and they go through some of the specs here. All day battery life. I would like to see that. The really cool improvement is two USB-C ports on the side of this, and they are Thunderbolt 4 ports. So for those of you that use Thunderbolt devices, you're going to see that benefit as well. And you can even use an external GPU. So it could be an interesting little gaming device, especially because the refresh rate of the screen is up to 120 hertz now. It defaults to 60, but you can go through that. And as I'm scrolling through here, you can see a little bit of what's going on. Some of the stuff I just don't, is not that interested in. But here's what the device kind of looks like. Still has, the same look and feel, or look, I guess I can't really feel it yet. You have, easy accessibility or adaptive kit with keycap labels. So they're making it more accessible, which I think is a good thing with three-dimensional stickers. There's a pen, and then the pen fits in the keyboard now, just like the Surface Pro X, which is their ARM one. So the real keyboard is nice, but that's an extra cost. So we kind of saw the cost of these things up above. This is all there, but let's get into more of the tech spec side stuff, the fun stuff. Tech specs, starts there at $1,100, which is pretty rich. So you have the 13-inch pixel sun screen. It's 120 hertz refresh rate, 10-point multi-touch, Dolby Vision support. You have up to 32 gigs of RAM, 8, 16, 32. You got an i5 or an i7 processor, TPM, Windows 11 Home. Microsoft for $1,100. Throw in Pro. I mean, not that hard. Just throw it in. What else we got? About 2 pounds. You have removable solid-state storage options of 128 or 256. And a 5, 12, or 1 terabyte. So the removable solid state storage, I do commend Microsoft for making it a little bit removable there. And hopefully that means that it's repairable in that state if you have the 128, 256, or even get it a bigger storage. Up to 16 hours of battery life. We'll see how it really works. Intel's new graphics on these CPUs, right? That they had the Xe graphics. And then you have Wi-Fi 6 with Bluetooth 5.1. Let's see. You can see Surface storage for more details. Let's open that up in a new tab. Let's see Surface storage. How much? Oh, that's just explaining storage. Okay, who cares? But it's good that they have the little removable storage there. I appreciate that, Microsoft. Having a little bit more repairability is a good thing. But let's configure this really quick here. It's a nice evolution of the product, right? Smoother or thinner bezels. It looks like it's smoothed out, more refined. Microsoft is just doing iterations here. It's a good product. I like my Surface Pro 4 a lot, and it's lasted me quite well. So let's say we stick with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 i5 like my wife has. And we already have Office 365. Let's say we want 2-year coverage, and she probably wants the Pro Signature, Surface Pro Signature key with Slim Pen. That's an $279. Jeez, that's $1,600 right there. Wow, my wife used the pen a lot. She's a graphic designer. That is getting up there. I remember when I bought my i7 Surface Pro 4 for less than that. I also brought hers she has an i5 Surface Pro 4 for less than that. Wow, it's a little expensive, but this is a nice iteration Microsoft did. I think that these are nice devices. They're thin. You can use them on the go, I don't have any problem using it on the go. That's where I mostly use mine, right? I take mine to travel. It's not my desktop. It's not something super powerful that I need to do. In fact, now looking back at it, I would have gone with the i5 version as well, for my daily needs. It's just I don't need the horsepower at all. So let's jump over the Surface Pro X. Now this is not really all new. There's new options, and it's basically still the same device, still the same ARM processors you get to choose from, the Microsoft SQ1 and Microsoft SQ2, which I believe is based on the Qualcomm chips. But the change here is the price. It's starting a little bit cheaper. If you can figure it, you can get the SQ1 processor with 8 gigs of RAM for $900. If you want the SQ2 with, I guess it goes to 16 gigs of RAM, that's $1,200. That's actually a little bit better price, and I believe, yeah, this is so the Surface Pro 8 now is the same form factor as this. It just has fans. This one is fanless, as you can tell. You can get LTE in these. I'd love to try one of these out. I really would enjoy trying to see how this performs. I would not give this to my wife yet. I don't know. I would need to see how this performs before, my wife, I would throw it to my wife and say, okay, you can use this. I don't want something to not work on there that she wants to use, and all of a sudden she's coming back to me, why doesn't this work? That's never a good scenario. But at least they dropped the price of these. Maybe Microsoft will drop the price of the Surface Pro 8. Not likely, but you never know. So then the Surface Pro Go. This is all new, a little refined, or a little updated processor. That's basically it. If you want to get in the Surface lineup, that's $400 right there. My only concern is that you're a dual-core Intel Gold processor. That 6500Y. Oof, that could get painful at sometimes. But at least it supports Windows 11, whereas my Surface Pro 4 doesn't. I'm still upset about that. It just drives me up the wall what Microsoft did. However, okay, let's look at the prices here, and focus on the Surface Go. Here we got the Pentium 6500Y with 128 gigs here and 128 gig SSD. I believe, so it's up to $630. That's probably why they increased the Pro price. If we go back here and look at the tech specs of storage, the 64 gigs is eMMC with that dual core processor. It's got to be a fun experience. It could be trying at times, I will say that. Up to 11 hours of battery life. It's a little bit older processor. That's 6500. Or no, the 6500Y. Never mind. That's not older, but it's a little bit, still dual core. The i3 is also a dual core. I'd like something a little bit more powerful there, but it is a Go. It's a good entry device for $400. And if you're looking for something cheap, this isn't a bad option. There's other options out there as well that are probably a little bit more powerful. But if you're looking for like a Surface design device, this is basically your entry point. The Surface Duo 2, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, 2 screens. I'd like to hear people that actually own this device how they like it. It's too expensive for me to even get in, especially because I'm hearing that Microsoft has not basically kept up with updates on the first one. You're spending $1,500 on a device, Microsoft. This should be you putting a lot of effort into it. It looks really cool. Like if we play the video here, it looks like a nice refined device. You have the 3 cameras now built into it, also thin and flexible. You have 5G now with, it has the dual screens. Really cool. It's even got like some notifications when you have it closed, so it can show you like kind of old Windows Phone at a glance. Sorry if you pick up some of the sound from the video. I didn't mute my headphones, but Snapdragon. Oh yeah, it's got the new Snapdragon 888 processor. You can see it has this, but where's your software support? Where's your updates, Microsoft? That's what I really need from a device. If I'm going to spend $1,500, Granted, I've not spent $1,500 on a phone before at all. I haven't even spent $1,000 on a phone. I've spent, I think the most I've spent on two phones is $1,200. So uh, that's where I kind of stand on it. But I mean, the Duo here is just it looks. I mean, it looks like a really fun device. It looks really cool. I enjoy trying it out. I'm just not paying $1,500 for it if Microsoft can't keep up and keep it up to date and work at it and make it so the $1,500 you spent is worthwhile. So it's an 8.3 inch screen, 5.8 with if you only have one screen open, HDR, all that fun stuff. So they did a nice incremental improvement, nice little device. Let me know if you guys are even interested in this, or if you're just waiting until maybe it takes off. I don't with all the dual screen stuff that's been out there, nothing's really taken off. And I guess I'm not really shocked, right? Prices have been high to entry, but the other part of it is that it is, my phone now, I got a OnePlus 6T. I could upgrade. It works though, and it does everything I need it to. And as long as I don't have to update it, I'm trying not to. So, and $1,500, right? I can buy two phones for that. So my wife and I both get new phones rather than just one of us. Yeah. Okay, let's jump over to something interesting here. This is, I think, going to be replacing kind of their Surface Book. It's a 14.4 inch, 128 pixel sense, 120 hertz pixel sense flow touchscreen. This is their Surface, what are they called? Surface Laptop Studio. Not an easy name to pronounce. $1,600. It's quite interesting, right? You got this, the screen kind of folds back. It's kind of got the angle, so you can fold it down. You can, if you guys have known the Surface Studio, so you can, it's a regular laptop. And then it folds down into that, and it can go all the way down, right? That's cool. That's interesting. That's a new innovative thing Microsoft. Well, no, it's not. Wait, everyone else, or HP, I believe, did this already. Something like that. Asus did something like this, right? Somebody did something like this already. But Microsoft taking a different level. If you notice here, though, this bezel at the bottom, how it's stepped in, I am interested to see how the cooling is. My guess is Microsoft is pulling air from one side through the other and not having any cooling up through the bottom and out. That'd be my guess. Because this sits really flat here and it's not at an angle. So Microsoft tried to figure out the cooling by going maybe straight across, which is an interesting way to tackle the problem. And for me, this is interesting. This is, the cooling of the device, of how it performs, is going to be very interesting to me, because this could have some innovations elsewhere in the laptop space. Because a lot of time, that's your choke point for cooling, is because you put this device on a flat surface and it just doesn't get enough air flow through to cool the parts. So if Microsoft has figured out something there, that'd be pretty cool. Now, this will be, their workstation type stuff. This is, I think, more focused on business than it is for personal use, especially at the starting price of $1,600. Microsoft says elevate your gaming and stuff. However, I have some questions with that, and we'll touch on that in some of the tech specs once we get into there. They have, they worked a lot on the color, the design, and just, best sound. I hope so. This is a thicker device, Microsoft, so I hope you have good sound here. And we're just scrolling through, Microsoft touching their other devices. They didn't touch really anything else of their other devices. Let's go up to tech specs here. $1,600 is starting, so we'll go back and see some of the device layout. You have two Thunderbolt 4 ports, dedicated charging port, which I believe is just mostly for, especially if you're a business and you invested in this and now you still want to go forward, you still have that same charging port broke through. It's the It's also got Wi-Fi 6. Almost everything does now these days. You got the Intel Core H processor with up to 32 gigs of RAM. So here we go. We got the i5 and the i7. We got up to 16 or 32 gigs of RAM. We have a 14.4-inch display. It is TPM, of course, a TPM chip. I think Microsoft's doing this a lot, but Microsoft, almost everything has a TPM chip. It's your processor restrictions that are driving us insane. It's compatible with the Surface Dial if you have one of those. Integrated Slim Pen 2 storage for charging. That's cool. Windows 11 Home. Seriously, on a $1,600 device, Microsoft? Ouch, that's a slap in the face. Laptop Studio. It's a 60 watt or a 95 watt charger installed. It's around 4 pounds. Removable SSD. Good job, Microsoft. I like to see that. Removable. Up to 19 hours on the i5. Up to 18 hours. I like to see that. i5 models only get the XT graphics. If you get the i7 models, you have the NVIDIA 3050 Ti. I think that's just a little weak, Microsoft. You know, especially if you put gaming in the first part and then you're doing a 3050 Ti. Like, why can't we get at least a 3070? And there's business options with the NVIDIA Pro lineup as well, which is good for business. I don't focus too much on the A series NVIDIA graphics cards. I'm more of a gaming type person. I do some of that for work. It's just I'm not going to bring in that into here just to compare. But I would like to see like a 3070. I think that you could then get on top of. Oh yeah, it's more gaming. But you have two USB Thunderbolt 4s. So you could hook up that external graphics if you wanted to. A 3.5-inch headphone jack, and then the Surface Connect port. It's got the normal cameras, batteries. So there, it's got the hinge. They talk about it there, but let's configure this. Okay, that's really what I'm interested in. Okay, so how rich is it for our pocket? Well, if you want 16 gigs and 256, that's the baseline model. $1,500. Actually, $1,500 for this, or $1,600 for this. Wow. That Surface Pro for 8 gigs of RAM, 256, i5. I mean, not as powerful as processor in the Surface Pro. With the keyboard and the pen was $1,600. So these are lining up pretty even between the two. If you want a little bit more RAM, I may have to take back how expensive I thought this was. I mean, it's still expensive. It's just, it's not outrageous over the Surface Pro if you're including the keyboard and pen. And does this one need, this one might not need a pen to come with one. Let's go through, I'll go back. You got the RAM here, 512, 1700, and then you go to, if you go with the i7 with the GeForce RTX, that's 2100 there. Then you go up to 2700, and then you go up to 3100 if you want the 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte storage, plus the RTX 3050 Ti. Yeah, that's expensive. I guess it's 1800 with the package. And you might need a pen too. So, yeah, never mind. It's expensive. Let's see. Does this have the pen? What's included in the box? Safety. Yeah, so it doesn't come with a pen. So you need the pen too. Yeah, wow. Yeah, these are expensive. But, I like the design. Microsoft did I have to say here, the normal stuff, right? The Surface Pro, the Go, the Surface Pro X, and the drop in price, a dual screen. Those are all evolutions. This is a new design. I happen to really like it. I'm very, very interested in this cooling design to see how that cooling design actually works. The removable storage is a big plus. Microsoft, good job adding that in. The prices seem a little bit rich, but who knows how that's all going to go. But let me know, guys, what you guys think of these devices in the comments below. Are you going to be laying your money down for these? Do you think that the cooling is interesting? Thunderbolt 4, all that stuff. Leave it in the comments below. Will you be buying one of these? Will you sit it out this round? And I'm interested to see if you any other devices you want to see coming out that I want to take a look at. I probably won't be able to buy them. They are expensive, right? And so I'd love to be able to buy them and test them out, but they are expensive. I think that Microsoft came out with this Surface Studio laptop, a good design. We'll see where it lands in the market and how the market reacts to it, but it's something I wouldn't mind trying out. Especially, I really want to know how that cooling design works. So, with that, thank you guys for watching Gray Overload. Thank you guys for taking the time to help support this channel and helping it grow. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys do a great job subscribing and promoting the videos. So until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.